Hey, it's Sunday. Welcome to the carport. I was in the yard the other day and I noticed a few little things going on, so let me tell you about them.
Yo!
I was talking to a fellow picker the other day online, and he was telling me he had found 3 of these F-150 center consoles, but none of them had the armrest cushion on them. Someone had picked all 3 of them before we got there. Now, we looked online and we found that you can buy replacement ones still for about $35, so there's a possibility there. So it got me thinking, I should go check out the other Fords, right? Maybe there's another Ford out there that has the same type of armrest, even maybe if it's not the same center console. While I couldn't find any of the armrests that go with the F-150s, I did run across a few of these. This is from a Ford Edge in the early 2000s. It looked like a pretty good candidate, so I started to pull it out. I will warn you, these are a giant pain to get out. The seats are really in close to the center console, plus they're electric seats, so if you're finding it in a junkyard, there's no power to them. Moving them forward and back is really difficult, and you have to do that in order to be able to access all the different screws that are holding it in place. And since it has the floor shifter right here, it's got that opening for being able to get to the emergency brake. It's also got a 12-volt port here in the middle, so I'm going to see if I can get this to work. Maybe you remember Belle here. Belle is about to leave. The only thing we need to do is switch over all the locks so that they're uniform, because some of these doors have been replaced from a previous accident. Belle has the simple cup holder center console, and we're going to try to replace that with this new one from the Edge. Looking at the bottom, it doesn't need any of this black plastic stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling that off. Many of these Ford pieces use these T20 bits. There's a handful of Phillips heads in here too. 1, 2, and then this number 3. The back of this also pops off pretty easily. There's just a handful of clips running up and down. And there's one last Phillips screw hiding back in there. I'm going to try it first with the cup holders out. For those of you who don't know, you pop up the front, lift that, and then slide it forward outside of the emergency brake to get it. I got it in there. It fits pretty well. These things get in the way of the emergency brake, so let's go ahead and trim those off. With all of these pieces cleaned out, we're going to go ahead and clean up the front as well. This centerpiece just pops out as well, so it gives you a little bit more access here to do a clean job. Also, while we're in here, let's go ahead and replace that with an updated USB charging port. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. It's got a USB and a Type-C power port, and it's a direct plug, so you can put it directly into 12 volt, and it has the step down mechanism built in. This is going to need trimmed up just a little bit to get it to fit. You insert it through the front, tighten up this nut on the back. To get the power from here to your fuse box, you can go ahead and watch my video on the LED cup holders, which uses the same technique I'm going to use on this one. Since it is considerably narrower than the F-150 console, you can put it in and still leave your armrest here. I'm going to go ahead and take the armrest out just to see what it looks like without it. With the armrest gone, it makes the emergency brake a lot more accessible because this is moved a little bit further over to the driver's side. Unfortunately, it can't fit necessarily as far forward as I would like it to, because then you only get a little bit of the brake coming up. Some people may decide they never ever use the emergency brake, so it doesn't matter. But if you want full access to the emergency brake, you'll have to slide it back. Here in the back there is an opening for some cup holders as well. Put the center cup holder in, and we're gonna go ahead and try it now with the cup holder. With the base cup holder in, you're able to splay those sides out a little bit to get over it. And this also gives you a few options for mounting. So you could put a self-tapping screw straight through there to hold it in place and just screw it directly in to the cup holder. Without that, mounting it securely is going to be a little bit more challenging. I'm sure someone out there can come up with a solution, and I would love to hear it. For my observations, tan was a pretty common interior color during those years. But you could paint it or wrap it. I've done that with some of the F-150 consoles back there before. Put a primer on them and then painted them black. I've also got a like a leather paint that you can use to paint up the material. 2 coats of that, and it looks really good. It might not fit everybody's needs, but maybe someone can do something with it.